Good evening, Christ Church, and welcome to a musical offering for the Feast of the Ascension, or Ascension Day. The observance of this Feast of Holy Thursday takes us into Christian antiquity, with the possibility of the first observance having occurred in the 4th century. By the 5th century, St. Augustine speaks of this celebration as being of apostolic origin, and existed as a universal observance of the Christian Church long before his time. In the Roman Catholic Church, the Ascension of the Lord is a holy day of obligation, and within our Anglican tradition, this celebration is considered a principal feast of the liturgical year. One of the more ecumenical holy days, along with Easter and Pentecost, Ascension Day commemorates the Christian belief that Jesus was raised up into heaven. St. Luke references this feast day with these words, "Then he led them out as far as Bethany, and lifting up his hands, he blessed them. While he was blessing them, he withdrew from them and was carried up into heaven. And they worshipped him and returned to Jerusalem with great joy, and they were continually in the temple blessing God." Much later, in the late 18th century, William Blake, the renowned English poet and painter, whose work foreshadowed the Romantic era, offers in his remarkable collection of poetry and art entitled Songs of Innocence, this poetic description of Ascension Day with these words. The poem is entitled Holy Thursday. Blake says, "'Twas on a holy Thursday, their innocent faces clean, the children walking two and two in red and blue and green. Gray-headed beetles walked before with wands as white as snow, till into the high dome of Paul's they like Thames waters flow. Oh, what a multitude they seem, these flowers of London town. Seated in companies they sit with radiance all their own. The hum of multitudes was there, but multitudes of lambs, thousands of little boys and girls raising their innocent hands. Now like a mighty wind they raise to heaven the voice of song, or like harmonious thunderings the seats of heaven among. Beneath them sit the aged men, wise guardians of the poor. Then cherish pity, lest you drive an angel from your door." This evening, our first hymn is hymn 214, Hail the Day That Sees Him Rise. Where would we be without the poetry of Charles Wesley and Welsh hymn tunes? It is indeed difficult to imagine the Christian worship tradition without the monumental poetic writing of Charles Wesley and the sturdy hymn tunes of the Welsh. In this hymn for Ascension Day, the genius of Wesley and the stirring, robust Welsh tune Llanfair make for an unbeatable combination. Wesley's text, which he titled A Hymn for Ascension Day, first appeared in Hymns and Sacred Poems, published in London in 1739 by the brothers John and Charles Wesley. These words have appeared in virtually every major hymnal in various church denominations ever since, including those of the Episcopal Church in 1865, 1871, 1892, and in 1940. The tune Llanfair is typical of many strong Welsh tunes of the late 18th and early 19th centuries. It is attributed to Robert Williams, and its name is comprised of the Welsh Llan, that refers to a Christian settlement. If, in fact, it was composed by Robert Williams, the name may refer to a Christian community in Ainsley, an island off the northwest coast of Wales. So, in celebrating Ascension Day, please join in singing all the stanzas of hymn 214, Hail the Day That Sees Him Rise. The lyrical genius of Felix Mendelssohn is very much on display in the Prelude in G major, a piece that he wrote for organ, and that has absolutely nothing whatsoever to do with the liturgical feast that we're celebrating this evening. Rather, the engaging lilting rhythm and the simple ascending melodic theme present a more quiet and reflective portrayal of our Ascension Day celebration. This is in great contrast to the two hymns, the triumphant hymns that we sing tonight. Susan and I shall offer this lovely work in an arrangement for piano, four hands. The second hymn this evening is a noble hymn for Ascension Day, hymn 215, See the Conqueror Mounts in Triumph. These remarkably rich and dramatic words of the 19th century English bishop and man of letters Christopher Wordsworth, nephew of the great English poet. Wordsworth originally conceived the hymn as having 10 stanzas, encompassing both Ascension Day and the day of Pentecost. Subsequently, he divided it into two parts, one for each holy day, Ascension and Pentecost. The text with the familiar Dutch tune, In Babylon, has been included in Episcopal hymnals since 1916. Interestingly, the original source of this tune is found in a collection that has the unlikely title, Old and New Dutch Peasant Songs and Country Dances, suggesting that just possibly there is a rather secular heritage for this tune rather than a sacred one. So on this Ascension evening, I invite you to sing all stanzas of hymn 215, See the Conqueror Mounts in Triumph. Finally, as has become our custom, we continue this evening to conclude the evening musical offering with the simple song which we sometimes sing at Christ Church at the conclusion of communion. This lovely communal musical blessing, Peace I Leave With You, comes to us from the monks of the Weston Priory in Vermont and offers us the music and words from a former Benedictine monk and retreat leader, Gregory Norbert. Let's now sing Peace I Leave With You.